The world had long forgiven Joon, but he hadn't forgiven himself. Now back on top of his career, with sponsorships pouring in and his face on every screen, Joon was the darling of Korea again. Fans screamed his name. Brands chased his signature. And he was more popular than ever before. His face was everywhere, billboards, commercials, TV shows. Fans adored him, but no one knew that behind his dazzling and charming smile and his growing fame lived a silence, a hollowness that not even fame could fill. Every achievement felt like dust without her. No matter how far his success reached, the emptiness inside him only deepened. Joon was miserable. No award, no amount of money, no photo shoot could fill the space Tolani once occupied. He tried calling her once, twice, 100 times. But then he remembered he had deleted her number in a fit of rage during the worst days of the scandal. There was only one person who could help now, was Yoonjin, Tolani's old dorm mate from the scholarship program. Joon reached out to Yoonjin, and after much pleading, they met at a quiet cafe. Yoonjin gasped when she saw him. Yoonjin said in surprise, "You look like you haven't slept in weeks." Joon replied softly, "I haven't. Please, I need her number. I just want to hear her voice." Yoonjin hesitated, but finally relented. She agreed to give him Tolani's number. Back in Lagos, Nigeria, Tolani had managed to piece herself back together. She was working at a fancy restaurant called Eco Sunrise Bistro. Life was moving forward, and she was coping. Tolani was thriving, working at Eco Sunrise Bistro, saving for her dreams, laughing with coworkers. She was happy. But sometimes, late at night, she'd think of him, the good days, the ugly end, the betrayal. She'd remember, but she wouldn't cry. She had cried enough tears to fill an ocean back in Korea. Back in Korea. The first time Joon called her, Tolani looked at her phone screen and let it ring out. She was furious that he even had the nerve, that he dared. Joon was crushed. He told his manager, "I can't live like this. I need to find her. I feel empty. I can't go on like this." His manager tried to discourage him, fearing another media scandal, but Joon refused to be swayed. His manager begged him to move on, but Joon had made up his mind. He scheduled a press conference. That day, the entire country tuned in. The world watched. Joon speaks in a confident voice. "I'm not here to talk about my new project. I'm here to talk about her, about Tolani, my beautiful Nigerian goddess. There's a girl I met in a coffee shop, a black girl, a beautiful, smart, funny, stubborn Nigerian girl who changed my life. I call her my coffee girl." The reporters gasped. "She didn't ruin me. She loved me. I ruined her. And I'm sorry. She is not the person the media painted her to be. I ruined her reputation. It was all my fault. She is not a homewrecker, not a bad woman. She's the only one who filled a part of me that had always been empty. Since she left, I've felt nothing but loss. And I don't care what Korea thinks anymore, because I love her, and I'll find her, and I'll marry her. Tolani Adiola, my coffee goddess. If you are seeing this, just know that I am sorry for hurting you the way I did. I love you so much, I miss you so much, and I don't care how long it takes me, but I will find you. And I will surely make you mine forever. I love you, coffee girl." Social media exploded. Clips of the conference flooded Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. International news, magazines, talk shows, global news outlets picked it up. The story went viral. Nigeria buzzed with speculation. Some thought it was AI generated or a deepfake video. But it was real. His mother warned him not to go near Tolani, calling black people disgusting. But Joon stood his ground. "If you can't accept her, then you've lost me as a son," he said. He met Yoonjin again and begged her to help him find Tolani. Luckily, Yoonjin and Tolani had kept in touch occasionally. Yoonjin gave him details about where she lived and worked in Lagos. Without wasting time, Joon booked a flight to Lagos, Nigeria. He didn't tell anyone. When he arrived, He checked into a hotel and headed to the EKO Sunrise Bistro that same evening. He sat quietly at a table and requested a waiter. Another server approached him, but Joon insisted. "I'd like to be served by Tolani, please," Joon said. Unaware, Tolani came out to attend to the customer. The moment she saw him, everything stopped. She froze. He stood up and smiled softly and said, "Hey, coffee girl." Her hands trembled. Her chest tightened. Tears welled in her eyes. She turned and ran outside the restaurant, trying to catch her breath. He chased after her, finding her sitting on the bare ground, crying uncontrollably. He knelt in front of her, apologizing again and again. "Please, please, listen to me," Joon said apologetically. But Tolani was furious. She lashed out through tears, screaming at Joon, "Don't ever come near me again. You told me I ruined you. You said I was the biggest mistake of your life. You said you regretted dating me. You said your mother was right about me. You crushed me, Joon." Joon was speechless. He fell to his knees, his voice cracking. "I didn't mean any of it. I was scared. I was angry. I was weak, but I never stopped loving you." He tried to touch her hand, but she pushed him and walked away, leaving him kneeling in the dust as she stormed back into the restaurant. She asked her manager to assign someone else to Joon's table, but the manager declined. "He specifically asked for you," her manager said. So she returned to his table, face cold and distant. "Either you order or I walk away," she said flatly. He was stunned at how much she had changed. With no choice, he ordered a glass of white wine. He sat there for hours, watching her, hoping for a moment of warmth. But when her shift ended, she told him to stay away from her and walked off. That night, he couldn't sleep. This was the first time he had seen his coffee girl look at him like a stranger. He knew it was his fault. The next morning, Joon returned back to EKO Sunrise Bistro. She ignored him. Tolani walked past, like he didn't exist, but when he gently grabbed her wrist, gently, she turned, tears falling uncontrollably as she screamed at him. Just seeing him broke her down, and she cried right there in front of everyone. Kang Joon pulled the manager aside and slipped a thick envelope of money into his hands and said, "Please, give her the day off. Give her peace." The manager agreed. Tolani could go, but had to return in 3 days. Joon helped her to his rented car. She cried silently, overwhelmed by memories. He took her back to his hotel and talked to her gently. He got on his knees again, begging. He took her back to his hotel, not to seduce, just to talk, just to beg. She sat across from him on the couch, arms folded. "Tolani," shaking, "you humiliated me. You destroyed me. I lost my scholarship, my future. Jean, you broke me into a million pieces, and I hate you for it." Joon, sobbing, "I know, and I hate myself for it, but I want to give it all back, 10 times more." He got on his knees, apologized, promised, pleaded. She finally, slowly, leaned in and hugged him. She forgave him. He asked her to be his girlfriend again. She agreed. She still looked broken, her eyes swollen from crying. He smiled gently. "Go shower. You'll feel better." She scoffed. "I'm not showering in a man's hotel room." He teased her. "You've done more than shower with me, remember? I have seen every inch of your body, and I haven't forgotten any of it." She laughed a wide, free, joyful laugh, and hugged him tight. He took her to the bathroom, and when she returned, he kissed her lips, forehead, cheeks, and neck. "I missed you," he whispered. "I've never stopped thinking about you." They didn't want to let go. They made love that afternoon, trembling, slow, emotional, the kind that heals. Tolani returned home that night happy. They talked on the phone endlessly. Joon wanted to meet her parents, but she was hesitant. She knew they wouldn't accept him yet. 3 days later, Tolani left home early to see Joon at the hotel, and Joon told her, "You're not going back to Korea. You deserve a fresh start. I'll send you to school in the US. I'll sponsor everything." She cried again, this time in disbelief, and she kissed him. They started the process. Tolani cried at the airport as Joon returned to Korea no longer hiding their relationship. He talked about her openly in interviews, posted her pictures, and showed the world his happiness. And few months later, with Joon's help and connections, she got accepted into a university in the United States. Joon stayed in Korea for work, and Tolani moved to the US. He posted her photos, mentioned her in interviews, smiled like he had never smiled before. His mother said, "If you marry that black girl, you're not my son." "Then I'm already dead to you," Joon replied. He continued acting in Korea. Whenever he had time off, he traveled to the US to see her. Sometimes, she visited Korea. They no longer hid their love. Tolani lives in a clean, modern student apartment in Manhattan. She cooks herself Nigerian-style jollof rice, while FaceTiming with her roommate from her Korea days, Yoonjin. Yoonjin, on screen. "You're glowing, Tolani. America suits you. And honestly, I'm jealous." Tolani laughs softly. "I'm just grateful to have peace. I'm finally living again. I miss you." She ends the call. She stands at the window, overlooking the skyline. Sometimes, Joon would surprise her at her school with roses. Their romance was all over the internet. Tolani and Joon trending, fan edits of their love story, K-drama fans swooning globally. But not everyone was happy. Madam Yu watches a TV special showing a fan-recorded video of Joon kissing Tolani on the cheek at an awards afterparty in New York. Reporter Kang Joon, a Nigerian-American architecture student, Tolani Adeola, continued to defy cultural expectations with their international romance. Madam Yu turns off the TV with a bitter scoff and said, "He really chooses her over everything." Joon sits alone in his dark penthouse, surrounded by re-accepted brand contracts and scripts from top directors. But his eyes are tired. His life is back. But his joy is only full when she's near. Back in Lagos, Nigeria, Tolani's childhood friends scroll through her Instagram. One shows a picture of Tolani and Joon posing in front of the Statue of Liberty. Another shows a romantic dinners in Manhattan and selfies with Joon at a Broadway show. Friend 1. "Can you believe she is still dating that Joon? So she's really living the dream, huh?" Another friend added, "She's so lucky. She bagged a whole K-drama actor. God, when everything good always happens to her." With jealousy in their tone, even as they click like. But her true friend, the former dorm roommate from Korea, replies to the story with a heart emoji. "You deserve all of it," Yoonjin commented below. Social media comments flood in. "She's glowing now. That's what healing looks like. He's crazy about her. And I love it. She doesn't deserve him. She seduced him clearly. They're so real. This is what love looks like. They're beautiful together. I stand forever." Media begins to pick sides. 80% support, but the 20% remain cruel, calling her a seductress, a whore, and a distraction. But this time, Tolani doesn't cry. Back in Seoul, Madam Yu storms into her son's apartment, slamming a magazine on the table. Madam Yu, angry. "You're still funding that girl's life? She trapped you." Joon, calm but cold. "No, Mom. She saved me. You tried to destroy her, and I let you, but not anymore." Madam Yu, "I'll never accept her." Joon said firmly, "Then you don't accept me, because this time it's either Tolani or nothing." Madam Yu storms out, bitter but powerless. Now 24, Tolani is more mature, glowing, and studying with peace of mind. It's snowing outside. Joon visits her after 6 months. The reunion was warm and quiet. No cameras, no noise, just love. He kisses her forehead. They lie in bed, tangled in sheets, whispering promises into each other's skin. They made love slowly, tenderly, and for the first time, without fear or hiding. Months pass. It's spring. Tolani sits on her bathroom floor in the US, staring at a positive pregnancy test. Her hands shake. Tears roll down her cheeks. Positive. Tolani whispers, "Oh my God! What will he say?" Tolani FaceTimes Joon. He's in his van, post-photo shoot, still in makeup and hair, but his eyes instantly soften at the sight of her. Joon teasing, smiling. My coffee girl, you've been dodging me all day. Miss me that bad? Tolani, small smile. Joon. Her tone makes him stop smiling. He leans closer to the camera, concerned. Joon, gently. What is it? Tolani swallows. Her hands tremble a little as she adjusts the camera. Her voice comes out low and shaky. Tolani, voice barely a whisper. I didn't want to say it over the phone, but I missed my period. Joon blinks. The air between them shifts instantly. And he asked, how long? Tolani continued. Almost 2 months. I was too scared to tell you. I didn't want to freak you out. I waited. I thought maybe it was stress from school, but it's not coming. Tolani continued, voice shaky. I took the test tonight. I took 2, and they're both positive. Joon, I'm pregnant. Joon exhales deeply, runs a hand through his hair, but doesn't look angry or shocked, just stunned. Then his expression softens, but before he could speak, Tolani continued crying again. I didn't plan this, I swear. I've been so careful. I was so scared to tell you. I didn't know what to do. Joon, quietly. You thought I'd freak out? She wipes her eyes with the back of her hand. Tolani, voice breaking. I didn't even know who else to call. I'm sitting on the bathroom floor like an idiot and I just needed to hear your voice. Joon rubs his forehead, emotional. Then he looks directly into the camera, steady, calm, and tender. Joon, smiling gently. Tolani, you're not an idiot. You're the woman I love, and now you're carrying something that's part of me too. You're carrying my baby. Tolani sobs harder, trying to stifle the sound with her sleeve. Joon smiled softly and said, Don't cry alone, baby. Please don't cry alone. I wish I could hold you right now. I should be there. I will be there. She sniffles, shaking. Tolani continues. What do we do now? Joon blinks, then gives her the biggest, most emotional smile, and said softly, Now, we breathe. Then we plan. And no matter what, we do it together. Joon, grinning through tears. You've made me the happiest man in the world. She sniffles and said with tears in her eyes, I thought you'd be angry. Joon continued. Tolani, how can I be angry? You just gave me the best news of my life. 3 weeks later, Joon flies to the U.S. to spend some time with her. In her apartment rooftop, he drops to one knee in front of speechless Tolani. Joon said softly, We've survived scandal, distance, racism, and pain. You've carried this love with grace and strength, just like you'll carry our child. Please marry me, Tolani, my delicious coffee girl. Tolani, crying, hands shaking. Yes, Joon. 2 months later, they got married at a courthouse in the U.S. Their wedding pictures went viral. Yoojin flew in and stood proudly as her maid of honor. Tolani wears a simple white dress, her belly just starting to show. Joon holds her hand tightly. As they exchange vows, tears roll down her cheeks. This love survived hate, racism, loss, distance, and still bloomed. Madame Yu watches the wedding photo on her phone. Her fingers tremble. Joon's voice message, replaying, She is my wife now. You either accept her, or you lose me forever. Madame Yu stares into space, defeated. They said she didn't deserve him. But the truth is he didn't deserve her until he grew into a man worthy of her love. Because real love survives. Real love returns. Real love wins.